Hi guys, welcome back. It's time for another 24-hour reading vlog. I'm really excited. I just got done reading The Night and the Moth, and that book was so good. If you haven't read it, take my word for it. You need to read it. It was so good. So now I gotta hope that I can get out of this great book slump that sometimes we all as readers get into. My last 24-hour reading vlog, I read No More Secrets with Carter and Summer, and now I'm going into book 2, which is The Last Second Chance. This is book 2 in the Blue Moon series, and I'm really excited to get into another light, fluffy romance. Just like the title says, it's all about a second chance romance. I cannot wait to get into this book, and I can't wait to get back into the world with all of the bored ladies in this small Blue Moon town who like to take matters into their own hands when it comes to the heart. And supposedly they have this reputation of predicting relationships. So like if they say, apparently they have a 100% success rate, like you and you are going to end up together. We know it, and they do. They end up together, they end up married and having a family. So I don't know, we're just gonna have to see, and I can't wait to get back in with these quirky ladies, because you know what, when I get to be that age, I'm totally gonna be in that friend group. So I did something kind of funny. I had to restart my timer and everything. I got like the first couple pages of the book read before I realized that it was the wrong book in the series. I had started the wrong book. Actually, Jackson's Story actually isn't the second book in the series, it's the third book in the series. Fall into Temptation is the second book, and that is Beckett's story. And I believe he's the oldest brother, and he's the mayor of the town. So it's actually his story I'm supposed to be reading. Like, it almost basically started at his wedding, and I'm going, that's not right. So I quickly stopped it and switched back out, and this is the book that I'm going to be reading. So I'm going to reset my timer, and here we go. She's not my mom, the kid said it sullenly, as if it were a constant point of contention. She kidnapped you? Beckett asked with an expression of mock concern. If you're being held against your will, blink twice. The kid's lips twitched into a smirk. I know the sheriff. I can have him over here in 5 minutes. It's pretty boring crime-wise here. He'd love to get his hands on a good old-fashioned kidnapping case. She's my ex-stepmother, the boy said by way of an explanation, and she's not here. Well, I'll stop by some other time and make sure she's not making you scrub floors or live in the closet under the stairs. It was almost a smile this time. Later, kid. Later, landlord. Oh, I gotta find out what this dynamic is all about. Do you always kiss complete strangers? He demanded gruffly. Her wide green eyes sparkled. I do when they rescue me from considerable amounts of embarrassment and life in restroom prison. I was just debating whether the hand soap in here was edible. Aurora said, patting his shoulder. He was hadding with me. Your name is Bucket? The kid asked. It's Beckett, and you can stop judging, Van. It's Evan, the boy told me. Aurora rolled her eyes. That's what I said. Bucket and Van. Oh my gosh, I have to show you guys something real quick. My husband 3D printed me a new bookmark, and you guys have got to see it. It's a feather, and it's really lightweight, and it's not very bulky. I absolutely love it. So, and it sticks really good to the pages, so it doesn't come out easy. So the sword that I've been using, it comes out of my books so easy, and I've lost my place in my books so many times. So this is really secure. I like that. The only problem is getting to the pages, especially right now because I don't have any nails. But I love it. Definitely tired, but I feel more like I'm coming down with a bug. Joey shushed her and slapped a hand over Summer's mouth. Don't say that around here, she hissed. You haven't lived through flu season in Blue Mountain. Every second generation hippie and their mama tries to pour lemon ginger tea down your throat. They put up public hand sanitizing stations all over town with homemade cleansers that make you smell like licorice and cow shit. That doesn't sound very appealing. Rora's lower lip popped out, her green eyes widening, and began to water. What is this? What's happening? She's just playing you. Stay strong. Please, Bucket. She rolls her eyes at her daughter's fox devastation. I guess I could play one game. Sucker, she coughed. You can't tell me you can say no to that. I'm a parent. It's my job to say no to that. So I just finished book 2 in the Blue Moon series, and oh my gosh, Lucy Score does it again. This book was so good. Again, happy tears, I promise. It was just so amazing. And she's a single mom raising 2 kids, and he was just incredible. The way he loves her, the way he loves her kids, and how they make this family together is just amazing. And this book reminds me so much of my all-time favorite TV show, Gilmore Girls. Like, everything about it gave me Gilmore Girl vibes, just in the sense of the town, right? I already knew about the Beautification Bureau, which is a bunch of ladies in the town that have this record, this history of knowing when 2 people are meant to be together, and they have like a 100% success rate of bringing people together. But they were like top notch in this book. Like, I don't want to give anything away. If you guys haven't read this series, you guys need to go pick it up. You guys are completely missing out. It's just so Gilmore Girls. It's like Blue Moon is Stars Hollow. Like, that's the best way to describe it. So when I'm reading this series, I'm totally getting Stars Hollow vibes and that family community of absolute wackiness, and like the things that happened in this book. I mean, like, honestly, I was just enjoying reading it so much that I didn't even really get around to filming very much. That, and to be honest, there wasn't really much I could say about this book that wasn't giving something away that I didn't want to give away, because I think part of the amazingness of this book is going in not knowing all of these little things that happen. Beckett, the MMC in this book, he knows how to talk, and he knows how to move a crowd. I mean, he's the mayor for crying out loud, but like, he knows how to move things, and it's just, this is amazing. The other takeaway from this book is suddenly I have this urge to try to pick up yoga. Like, not just because the book made it sound fun and it kind of tells you all the importances of yoga and stuff, but like at the same time, it really talks about the health benefits for it and flexibility and stuff. And as someone who's training to run and who's been dealing with pain from her runs, like, I feel like yoga would help with all of that. That it would balance them out. So, and I also thought it was cool too that Beckett's a runner. So like, he gets up every morning and he runs, and he's ran marathons and stuff like that. And there's this like one girl who always seems to beat him out. Like, he can't beat her no matter what. And it just, I don't know, it just cracks me up. And this book was so good. And I cannot wait to get into book 3, which, as you guys can remember from the beginning of this, that I tried to read. So they're not very descriptive on which book's 1 and which book's 2. And you can look in the front, but because it doesn't give the name of the book that you're holding in this series, it kind of gets confusing. So, but my daughter and I figured it out. I just have to look at the list from book 1 and use that as my guide. And then that should keep me in a proper order of what book to read next. Now it's time to read book 2. And if you've watched my last reading vlog, you might have an idea of what that is. So pause right here, put down in the comments what book you think that is. Did you get it? Did you get it? Well, let's see. Also, I had a book come in the mail. It's book 4 to the House of Devils series. I've only gotten through book 1 so far, but again, it is a whole series that I'm vlogging. So if you're new to my channel and you'd be interested in my thoughts of this series, go ahead and subscribe down below. It's going to be an amazing vlog, and I'm excited that I get to end that vlog reading this book. And I've got 16 and a half hours left on my timer. The book 2 of my choice is The Reluctant Queen, which is book 2 of the Queens of Renthia series. And I'm excited. I mean, we're going to take a little break from romance and happy tears and things like that, and we're going to get into this book. I'm really excited. After the way book 1 ended, Delena is going to have her hands full. She's got a lot that she's got to go through, and so we're gonna get into this. Now this is, again, both of these books are book 2. If you're a little confused about all of that, I do urge you to go watch my first 24-hour reading vlog where I read book 1 of the Blue Moon series and I read book 1 of the Queens of Renthia. So these are obviously going to contain some spoilers if you haven't read the first 2 books. So yeah, again, I just wanted to put that out there, or this series in a nutshell. Everything has a spirit. The willow tree with leaves that kiss the pond, the stream that feeds the river, the wind that inhales fresh snow, and those spirits want to kill you. So I'm currently 40 pages in this book, and I'm going, what the heck right now? It's like, take your one of your favorite book characters, okay? So we're going to go with Violet from Fourth Wing. Fall in love with her in book 1, and then book 2 comes along, and suddenly, oh, we're tossing her out, and we're going to put in a new female lead. That's kind of what's happening with this book. I mean, like, I don't want to give too much away. It's nothing that you can't read on the back here. I mean, like, I don't even know what to say at this point that isn't going to give, like, massive spoilers. So trying to explain my frustration with this book without saying too much is kind of hard. I'm only 40 pages in, and you guys, I already want to not read this anymore. I'm frustrated already. Yeah, I had high hopes for this series. I'm glad I didn't buy book 3 yet. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. All I have to say is the new MMC, Naylin, if she doesn't divorce her husband and take the kids and go far away, I would. This guy is a real tool. I don't even know what she sees in him. Like, what the heck? Seriously, this man doesn't even care if his woman dies, as long as he can have a fancier house, fancier spices on his table, and live in the kingdom, I guess, to be rich. He doesn't care if it sacrifices his wife's life. Dump this loser lady. I want her to get with Ven, the MMC. That would be really cool. Like, dump your husband and, like, date Ven, because he's a champion and he's hot and he's strong, and, like, they would be the perfect match. Just saying. The other FMC, Delaney, she's the queen, and she's like 23, 24 years younger than Ven. And Ven and Delaney have more of a teacher-student relationship. So I showered and now I'm relaxing, and I've been reading and I'm actually very impressed. I'm almost 100 pages into the book now. This book has made it a huge turnaround. Like I said before, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I love Nayland. Like, she is me, you guys. Like, she's a mom. She has a son and a daughter. They're quite young, and she just wants to protect them. She wants to keep them safe and do whatever it takes to do that. This is just me hoping that she might end up getting in a relationship with the MMC Ven. He was the MMC of book 1 as well. And I'm kind of hoping that the two of them are going to get together. They seem to be closer together in age. They don't actually tell me her age, but they make comments about how, she's started to get some gray in her hair. So I'm thinking that she might be between 35 and 40, and Ven is 41. So, they'd be closer in age. But like right now, she hates his guts. But you can't blame her. He upended her whole life. All she wanted to do was be left alone. But I am absolutely loving her. And I'm just like, first FMC from first book. Who's that? I don't even care anymore. Honestly, if I were to make a list of FMCs that are on my top list, she would definitely make it there. It's just something about her I just absolutely love. And I am so excited to continue reading this book. Complete 180 in just 100 pages. That's how amazing it is. It wasn't that Ven disliked young children. On the whole, he had no strong feelings about them one way or another. He hadn't spent much time with them since he was one. He was impressed with their ability to annoy one another. This is another reason why I want Ven and Nayland to get together, because she's got 2 kids, and Ven is not much of a people person. Like, he trains heirs and then moves on, and so he's like a hermit that lives on his own mostly, and I want to see him try to get together with these children. I mean, it's gonna be hilarious. That's my daughter there in the corner. Dinner ready?
Yes.
Okay. But I want to see more of Ven trying to communicate with these children, because it's going to be humorous. Yes, it's happening. Exactly what I wanted to have happen is happening. It only took forever. I'm on page 271. Oh, the tension. Oh my gosh. This book definitely has more of everything that I love in a book. This one has more romance than the first book did, more storytelling. It has everything that the first book had, more romance. Like, oh my gosh, this book is so incredibly good. I cannot believe that I could have went my whole life without reading these books, and I'm so thankful to my husband who found this series, and I am grateful for the fact that I chose to grin and bear it when in the beginning of the book I just wanted to give up on it. I still love Delaney. I think that's how you say her name. Or Delina. I'm horrible with names, you guys. Delina. She's what was the MMC of book 1. You still get some of her point of view in this book, but it's not very much. It seems like it's almost like a shared role, right? Like, Nayland seems to be the new FMC, and oh man, I love her so much. She's spunky. She speaks her mind. She's very protective of her children. She takes no nonsense, and she's perfect for Ven. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this book so much. And when I was looking at the title of the series, it is not called The Queen of Renthia. It's called The Queens, as in plural, The Queens of Renthia. With only about like 100 and so pages left in this book, I am so worried. What if this seems to be the new system in this series? You have one queen. Something happens to said queen. You get another queen. Something happens to that FMC queen. And then the next book, the other another person becomes queen, and then something happens to her. I think I would cry. I love Nalene, and if anything were to happen to her, I think I would be done with the series at this point. I did not think that I was going to fall for an FMC so hard. Like, she is incredible, and she saved this entire book. I mean, if it would have been anybody else, I don't think I would have been able to get into the book again, because I do love Delina, and I was really disappointed and angry when I realized she wasn't going to be the main FMC in book 2. Nalene totally made up for it, and they better keep her, otherwise I'm going to mutiny. It's going to be a big bad mutiny. It may seem like it, but really I'm not giving anything away. It's on the back of the book. The only thing I have to say is, if you haven't read book 1, I am so sorry. Yeah, there's definitely a few spoilers for book 2 if you haven't read book 1. So I would definitely suggest reading book 1 anyways, because it is a good book and it kind of builds up the whole world, and it's totally worth it. And I don't think that you could understand Ven, who's the MMC, and love Ven the way that you do if you don't see his story from book 1. I was so invested in this book, I literally stayed up until like 4:30 in the morning reading it. I had to force myself to stop and go to bed. It's like, no, I've got things I have to do, responsibilities, I need to get some sleep, so I am going off very little sleep. Oh, also, before I forget, I do have 10 hours and 49 minutes left on my timer. I think that it's taking me a little bit more time to get through these books than it did in my last 24-hour read, mainly because I think both of the books that I'm reading are a little bit bigger and have more pages than the other 2 books that I read in my first 24-hour challenge. So, and sometimes I just read slower and faster. It's just, it's just the way life is. I'm just reading while I'm cooking. Some events just happened that have me going, oh man. I can't say that I'm surprised, because it solves a big mystery. It answers a big mystery that's in book 2. And the answers are there if you know where to look, right? And I kept getting this idea in my head that this is what's going on. I think this person is the person they're looking for. And yeah, I know it sounds cryptic, but I don't want to give too much away. I think this is the person. I mean, it makes sense that it all fits together. But then there was that part of me that's like, no, please let me be wrong. I wanted to be wrong so bad. So bad. And so when it came out that I was right, it didn't lessen the pain. Question is, what now? What's gonna happen now? We still got like 100 pages. Okay, I just finished this book, and oh my goodness, was it so good. It completely blew my mind on what was gonna happen, and that's what I remember from the first book too. I remember feeling like I had the story pegged, like how it was gonna end, and even though I predicted some things, it did not end anywhere remotely like I thought it was going to, and that's exactly what happened with this book. I love the fact that I couldn't predict the ending, and I was just blown away, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait to read book 3. Unfortunately, I do not own it, but I'm definitely going to be purchasing it. Yes, I cannot wait. And I would have to say this book has now reached my most surprised book of 2025. I am definitely not a fan of books that just randomly change FMCs or, yeah, like, you know what? I wouldn't even say that. Like, you know what? Honestly, I do not know how to describe it without giving really important key things away. So let me just say this. It was unexpected. It was amazing. It was fantastic. Go in knowing nothing and you will be pleasantly surprised. And even if at the beginning you're going, I don't know about this, keep going. Like, I promise you, it gets better. And the second book so far is my favorite out of the 2 books. I've already said several times, I love Nalene, and I love Nalene and Ven. Now, that being said, I was a little disappointed with the romance. I did say that this one had more romance than book 1, but now that I think about it, honestly, it was probably the same, because the romance is very, very, very subplot, very, very low, very, like, you know, that's not their focus, right? Like, they touched on it kind of like the sky is blue, these 2 people kissed, right? Like, but it's not something that's like what you would get in a romance book where it's all about the building up and the tension and, you know, things like that. No, it's just the romance is described like the color of the sun. And speaking of descriptions, that is the one thing that upset me about this book. And that's the fact that one of the new characters, Nalene, as much as I love her, I know nothing about her. I don't know how old she is. I don't know what color her hair is, what color her eyes are, how tall she is. Give this poor girl a description. She is a faceless person. Also, I wanted to add one more thing about this book because I thought it was interesting. I read a little story in the very, very back, and the author was talking about how she came up with the story for this series. And I thought it was interesting because it's amazing how stories come to those who write them. I know the book that I am writing came from a dream that I had on the same night my husband had a dream. And, you know, we woke up and we were just relaxing with our coffee and talking, and we were telling each other about our dreams. And it just suddenly formed in my head this whole story. And so I'm writing this book that's going to be a series that is a compilation of both of our dreams. How she came up with this is she was on vacation and she was walking through a forest, and she was just absorbed in the beauty of the surroundings, the trees, the sun, the birds, the flowers, and she wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, and she tripped over a root and she fell and she busted open her skin and she started bleeding. And then it was right then and there that this story, the series came to light. And she, like, literally, she said, forest plus blood equals this series. So I had to share because I thought that was interesting. I have 9 hours and some odd minutes left in my 24 hours. So let's see what book I'm going to pick up next. Okay, I'm going for one of the books that is on my July TBR that my daughter picked. And this one's called My Dark Desire. And I know I've mentioned it before. The cover is so beautiful. And it's kind of like a Cinderella retelling. So, sounds really good. So let's get into this one. Even miracles take a little time. Fairy godmother, Cinderella. My father always said that people are paper and memories are ink. Little did I know my book would be dipped in tar, then ripped to shreds. It's kind of a morbid way to be thinking. And look, it's like a Cinderella pillow, but instead of a glass slipper, it's got a sneaker on it. That's kind of cool. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. I'm outside letting my puppers go potty. So I am about that far in the book, and I still have 6 hours and some odd minutes left on my timer. So far this book is so good. Like I can't put it down. The guy's definitely a very tortured soul. He has some massive trauma that pretty much makes it to where nobody can touch him. If somebody touches him, then he goes into like a massive panic attack and like will literally try to scorch off his own skin. So far, the only person that's been able to touch him has been Pharaoh, but she calls herself Faye for short. He wants her around to try to fix him, but yet she doesn't know that because he hasn't told her that. That's just kind of what, you know, is going on through his head. But he's also very gruff and mean. I think in some ways this is giving me a cross between Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, because he's very much Beast and she's very much Belle. There's like the Cinderella feels too, on like how they met, and she's got a stepmom and stepsisters that she's slaving for. Don't mind the look. I just got back from a 3-mile run, so yeah, I washed my face, but I'm looking pretty crazy. But I immediately wanted to get back to reading this book, so I wanted to find out what happens. Silence clawed the air, then I heard it. Tinkling laughter bubbled from her throat like wedding bells carried by the wind. It tickled straight into my stomach and burst in every direction from there, only it didn't feel like butterflies. It felt like bats from hell. What was that? I demanded. Her smile vanished, and so did the strange murmur inside my chest when she'd made that sound. It was not unpleasant, and did not feel like cardiac arrest. I might have wanted it back. She blinked. What was what? That sound. Her brows shot up to the edge of her hairline. I laughed. The poor guy doesn't even know how to feel when he makes someone laugh. I just want to hug him, but he doesn't like to be touched by anybody but her. Laugh again, I ordered. Her delicate brows crashed together. Make me then. Impossible. I have no sense of humor. Develop one. It's not a fucking film roll, Pharaoh. It's gonna take more than a couple hours. Why do you need me to laugh anyway? And then he thinks in his head, because I felt something inside my chest, and I'm desperate to feel it again. Oh, this guy, I'm telling you. Okay, so I've got about 47 minutes left on my timer, and I've got about 120 pages left in the book. What started out to be a really good story is kind of for me. I'm having a hard time getting through it now. It's kind of slow. None of it doesn't make sense. Like, 1 minute she understands and she knows why he is the way that he is, and in like 20 pages, it's like she completely forgets, and she has to ask him, like, why are you the way you are? What happened? Right? Like, she talks about it before. She remembers hearing about the incident that made him the way that he was. It was all over the news, all over the newspapers. She already knew about all of it. She knew that he was a virgin because he told her that he was earlier in the book. And then we get later into the book, and he tells her again, I'm a virgin. She acts like she has no clue, and even though they'd already talked about that. And then she has to genuinely ask him why he is the way he is, because she's confused by it, even though she's already said earlier in the book that she already knows why, even though he didn't tell her himself. Like, you can't not know his story in the newspapers and the news and not know why he is the way he is, honestly. So they've had conversations before that were like just glossed over or something. I don't know, because then they have them again, like they've never had them before. Also, his nickname for her is Octi, which is short for octopus. He calls her an octopus. That's like her nickname. And I think that's like the dumbest thing in the world. I'm not against having spice in a book. Like, I'm not against it. I don't harp against it. It's nothing bad to me. But something about the spice in this book is just, I want more than just spice. This is just lots and lots and lots of spice. And even then, some of it's kind of weird. The things that he says, the things that he does, like, I don't know what else to say. All I know is I've got 120 pages still left in this book, and I'm struggling a little bit to find the motivation to finish it. my timer just went off. It's been 24 hours and I've got about 80 pages left of my book 3. I'm not 100% sure how accurate my 24-hour timer was. I did have a couple incidences where one of them, I like to do a little bit of reading in bed before I go to sleep, kind of, you know, digressing, kind of like relaxing after a busy day. And I got done reading and I don't know where my head was at, but I went to sleep without turning my timer off. The timer was counting down the entire 8 hours that I was asleep. And so then when I woke up, because I woke up early to go for a run, I realized my timer was going and I was like, oh crap. And so I did my best to put the timer back where I last actively remember it being, and maybe like a little bit lower than that. And then there was a couple other times where I'd be in the middle of reading and then my kids would need something, or I would get in a conversation with my daughter or my husband and I would forget to turn my timer off. And so then I would have to turn the time back again. I don't quite know just exactly how accurate the 24-hour timer is, but I managed in this 24 hours, as close as I could get it, despite the hiccups. I managed to get through 2 books and all but 80 pages of book 3. So again, if I wouldn't have messed with my timers and stuff, I probably would have been roughly the same as I was in my last 24-hour reading vlog. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me, and I hope you guys look forward to my next video, and I'll see you then. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week and a fun weekend.